Oh, hello, friends. Ruben here, back again with more action figure representation of Golden Age comic book mystery men. The term superhero didn't come into vogue until, I think, well into the 60s, so back then they were mystery men. Mystery men, I tells you. And I'm going to pick up exactly where I left off, wherever that was. That was Captain Marvel was the last guy we looked at. So the first guy this time will be the Hour Man, Man of the Hour. Look at him there. Pretty elegant costume. I like this. I really like the long cape. By the way, he's got the, what I call the common core. This is all very common to these waves of character, DC waves, DC Universe waves of characters. They get different from up on the belt, and the boots are also fairly common because it's just painted on, but some guys have details on the boots that are different. I gotta say, all the capes are different, aren't they? Okay, I gotta give them that much. Or are they? Well, okay, I'll take a closer look at that later. But anyway, so the Hour Man is a guy who came up with a drug in a pill form that made him ridiculously potent for an hour, after which time he would peter out, so to speak, and then he'd be in trouble. He was often, of course, at the verge of losing his powers, because he'd get into costume and go out to do some stuff, and then he'd pop his pill instead of waiting. You should have waited sometimes to get into the fisticuff situation before. Okay, he's not listening. He is another member, of course, of the Justice Society, another of the charter members, the fifth one that we've looked at. We looked at the other four in the other video, which I hope you saw. Okay, and so he's number 5 of 8 of the guys who were charter members of the Justice Society. However, we're going to take a break from that right now, because the next guy to appear in Detective Comics 38 in April of 1940 was Robin, the Boy Wonder, and boy did we have reason to wonder. No, just kidding. He's all man. Robin sports much of the costume that Bob Kane initially would have had for Batman, and it really, if it wasn't for Bill Finger and Jerry Robinson, I suppose Bob Kane would have just disappeared fairly quickly, and then would have just been a footnote. Anyway, Robin, Dick Grayson, as a matter of fact, is Batman's partner. Batman found a kid who had gone through his same trauma, but and said, "Hey, let's be together. Let's be friends." And they were good buddies. There's nothing wrong with finding a like-minded young man who is like-minded to you and is willing to go out with you and do the things that you like to do together, and eschewing the company of just about anybody else to do those things. That he's a fine young man with terrific legs. It's just icing on the cake. So there they are. They were a long-standing team. They were together for a long time in comics, that is, in real time. And eventually they had separate paths. They came back together. A lot of stuff happened. And then there are other Robins, of course. But this was the first, possibly greatest kid sidekick that there was. So shortly after that Robin appearance came Dr. Fate in More Fun Comics number 55, May of 1940, by Gardner Fox and Howard Sherman. This is from the first. It's one of the few disappointing things from the first appearances set of toys, because he doesn't quite stand that well. One leg is a little longer than the other. I guess he could stand with one in front of the other a little bit. Hey, maybe that helps. Whoop, 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 whoop. There he goes. Yes, he's missing his helmet. He does have a helmet. It's a very cool helmet. It fits so perfectly on his head, man. I don't know if you probably can't see it, but his eyes are right there. His eyes are right there. Very nice piece of machinery there, but machining. Dr. Fate was a sorcerer. DC's first sorcerer? No, there was Zatara. Anyway, unlike the Spectre, who was a supernatural creature, he's the first sorcerer to join the Justice Society. Another charter member of the Justice Society in a very nice looking costume, I think. Another nice color combination. And he has his amulet. I forget what his is called. Anyway, doesn't matter that much, does it? He also comes with a spare helmet, because later on he changed his helmets. He decided, I've got a nice chin. People should see it. So again, this sits like very perfectly on it. His eyes are right at the eye slits. I don't know what it does for his peripheral vision, but he can see straight on, no problem. So that was Dr. Fate, another charter member of the Justice Society. Shortly after Dr. Fate appeared, my notes are all over the place. Oh, the Green Lantern, the original Green Lantern from All American Comics number 16, July of 1940. Bill Finger and Martin O'Dell. That's Bill Finger again. God bless him. This is the original Green Lantern. There were more. There were many more. There were hundreds more. Literally, we found out that there's an army of these guys. But he was the first one, and his ring wasn't quite the same as... he didn't have the same powers. His ring didn't afford him the same powers as the later versions. Back then, they just afforded him... he could walk through walls, I believe, right? He was completely unaffected by anything metal. You shoot at him as nothing or whatever. Anything metal he was impervious to it all. The only thing that was a problem was wood. Wooden things were a problem, weren't they? Yeah, that's right. I'm going to mention it. And this is an elegant costume, I think, too. There's so much going on with the things on the boots and the flare on the arms and the thing in the loose cape type thing here. I think it's quite wonderful. And again, very interesting color combinations. A riot on Christmas. And then the purple and green cape. That's just wonderful. In the New 52 universe, that version of this character is a gay man. So for whatever reason, the editors decided to give him a completely different weakness for wood. Following him is the last of the charter members of the Justice Society, the Atom. The Atom, a curious little fella, was just that. He's just a little guy. He didn't have his superpowers. He's just a little guy who could beat your ass up. He was just look. He's even smaller than Robin. You know, Robin is like, hey kid, but the Atom could probably smack him around. I mean, Robin is no slouch, but the Atom was just well known to be a particularly good pugilist, and that's all it was. He was a short guy who could beat your ass up. Later on, he came in a really nice 2-pack because later on he changed his costume a bit. So the two figures came together. That's very cool. In a rare bit of, thank you very much. Anyway, so that's the Atom. They're both the same guy. He just changed outfits later on. By the way, the Atom came in All-American Comics, number 19, October 1940, by a bunch of guys whose names I don't see anywhere else. Ben Flinton, Bill O'Connor, and Leonard Sanson. I've only read a few of those stories. They only afforded us 5 episodes in that JSA All-Stars archives. So those are the only stories I've read, except for maybe 1 or 2 and other reprints here or there. But that's neither here nor there. The Atom is the last of the charter members of the Justice Society. It was Atom, Green Lantern, Dr. Fate, Iron Man, and the other 4 guys, Sandman, that guy, and that guy. The other guys. There will be more guys. More guys joined the Justice Society later on, but we're through with that at the moment. So, but now we can go on to the next dude, which was from Timely, the precursor to Marvel. March 1941, Captain America Comics number 1. Captain America. Hey, look at him. This is sweet. This is the original version of Captain America with that shield, which later immediately became the round shield with the second appearance. Maybe even in the same comic, because there were multiple features in that book. And he had the mask was more of a cap or helmet that was open all around, and then later on it becomes more part of his tunic that he folds up over the thing. It's a very nice costume. It's the first guy in our thing by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, although I will have very, very many Jack Kirby characters to show you later on. And he had a partner, of course. He also had a young partner in Bucky Barnes, James Buchanan Barnes, who in much later years went on to become a whole other thing. But anyway, this I bought loose. I don't know what the original packaging was, or what it came with, heck nabbit. But he's got a very different body type, which I attribute to it being from a different set of figures. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I think he's too tall, and he doesn't quite stand up very well, does he? Come on, kid, will you? For cry-eye. Anyway, I think it looks cool that they have completely different body types, although he's just as tall as Cap, which is not cool. But what are you going to do? You had to fool people into thinking you were a dope back then. But again, he's in a situation where there was an army brat called Bucky, and who was off and around situations where Captain America turned up with a partner called Bucky, and nobody could figure out exactly what was going on there. Yes, so there you go. I'll have more later versions of Captain America later on, but this is the original version. I like him so much. I don't want to give him up yet right away. It's just really cool. It's very well articulated. I forget what the line of toys this came from. I think I got them out of the original packaging, but I don't have it anymore. There he is, Captain America. God bless him. I thought I'd be done by now, but look, I have time. Who's the next guy? Here we go, Starman. Where the hell is, there he goes. Starman is another DC character, as most of these have been. And the first guy to join the Justice Society who wasn't an original member. He's a cosmic rod. Yes, he does. And which he fashioned from a meteor, a white dwarf star, some such, or a meteor, that affected him various powers, which I can't even think of right now. It's been a while since I read these stories. Lovingly drawn by Jack Burnley, written by Gardner Fox, on Adventure Comics 61 on there, April 1941. Yeah, again, he's got the lovely long cape. I like that a lot, with the little star on the back, and he's got a little pouch. Oh, he's got a gun in there, too. There's a gun in his pouch. I don't remember many details about what that's about. And yes, he has the common core of these figures. All of this is common, but he does have a different flair on his boots here. This little detail is different. So from the knees down is different, but all of this is common to all of these figures. But of course, the belt and blah, blah, blah. And of course, you gotta love the fin on the head, man. That's nice. That's really nice. If he had to swim, he'd be steady on, no problem. But I don't think he ever had to swim. He's Starman. Starman! Later on, there was a series based on his son. That was a good book. That was an excellent book. And now Dr. Mid-nite. Dr. Mid-nite. Here he goes. Another really cool costume. Some of these are really, really nice designs. I mean, they're really only small differences, of course, as noted, because of the common core, and they're just small differences, basically. But I really like this tunic. I don't know the terms for clothes and such, but that's a great shirt. That's a great shirt. Dr. Mid-nite is blind, unless it's night, unless it's darkness. Then he can see. So, you know, there you go. And he's also, Dr. Mid-nite, come here, cross your arm like this, because Dr. Mid-nite had an owl familiar. You heard me. He had an owl familiar. Okay, maybe it's better on this other arm. I don't remember if there was a specific arm he carried this thing on in the comic. Come here, you. You son of a... Get on that fucking thing. I used to pose him with this thing on him. Here we go. Oh, well, maybe... There you go. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. Hey, hello. There he goes. He's got an owl. I forget. Hootie. Anyway, Hootie the Owl, believe it or not, is his owl. So there's Dr. Fate. Blind Man, and another member of the Justice Society in this wonderful, wonderful outfit there. See, there goes another great boot detail that's different from others. Hey, look, maybe I got time for one more. No, I don't. I don't want to do that right now. But that's just more guys from the golden age of comics, mystery men, as it were. Most of them in the Justice Society. If you find this interesting at all, I hope you come back for more, because I got a lot more toys. And rather than just sit down here and play with them, I might as well show you them, because I'm here anyway, and I'm having a great time. Hope you are too. Bye.